This is the Night Owls Disc Golf Podcast. I'm Shane.
I'm JP.
Hey, the Belchomatic. Okay. Door_disc_golf. Night_owls_pod. And then doordisc.com. That's where you can buy all of your disc golf needs. Wait. You can purchase disc golf stuff for your needs.
Either way.
Okay.
I think that both work.
Okay.
Yeah.
Either way. I'm not good at this whole advertising and marketing thing. So, how do you feel about Community, JP?
The TV show?
No, that's a really, yeah, let's dive into that one. How do you feel about that?
Oh, I like that TV show.
I enjoy it too. Who's the soup guy? What's his name? Like Talk Soup, the guy that's in Community. Joel McHale. I love that guy.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about him.
He's funny.
Yeah. So, no, more just community in general. When someone says, hey, do it for the community, or you're really involved in the community, or man, that community sucks.
I guess it depends what community you're a part of and how, and recency of like things going on. Perhaps. I don't know.
Expand. No.
Not yet. No, because I just think that, yes, like you build your community with the people. Maybe it's like a Facebook group or something. You know, you invite people to a group, or they just find something based on common interest. And I think even though sometimes you have common interest in things, you're going to have your people for or against things. And, much like anything, there's always going to be like, yes, we all enjoy this. And then at some point, you might have your quarrels and things like that. So, I don't know. Living up here is pretty great as far as a community. So
I agree.
I don't know. I'm not for or against community because I think it's just one of those inherent things that, based upon where you are, there's just always going to be that. So I don't know. Yeah, I guess, and then you just kind of make what you want of it as you will. Like you choose to join certain groups or things, and you just kind of make it what it is.
Right. All right, I get that. Yeah, I agree with it. I guess the reason why I'm bringing it up is, so community, the community of disc golf, we always kind of talk about that. Or, Door Disc Golf talks about, using disc golf to help the community, basically. So do you think that community is changing in disc golf? Do you think that we have seen a pivot? I forgot to turn the heater off again.
Oh, no. Okay.
Do you think we've seen a pivot in our community?
Here's what I think is happening is, yes, we have the overarching disc golf community.
He's drawing a diagram, by the way.
I am.
There's a whiteboard right behind you if you want to use it.
No, I feel like that's like NFL playbook-ish. Or something like, team, we gotta get it. Yeah, exactly. No, okay, so like you have your community, and maybe there's people inside you have people inside the community, and it's like, well, that's a sub community within the community. So you might have people joining that one, or they start, people detract from that, so they start another one for something else, or in that community, or all of a sudden people are like, oh, it's like you just have like a bunch of little offshoots.
Right. Still under the same umbrella.
Right. And that makes up the overarching community.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. It's fascinating.
Are we seeing more fracturing in the community, or
yes,
more?
I think that's
more people under that umbrella, or is the umbrella getting bigger?
The umbrella is getting bigger by more people finding disc golf.
Right.
We don't know how they find it, but they find it, based on like content or, people sharing. And that's part of the community outreach. You're reaching out of your community to a different community, or pulling people into your what you have. And then I think from there, they will decide within that community how they want to spend their time and everything else.
And what communities they want to be involved in inside that community.
Right. Yeah. Right. Think of it like the bigger picture is like the United States. Obviously, we're all within that. Then you go down to the states, and then the counties, and then it's like
and cities and townships and villages. And,
exactly.
And then homes.
Yeah. But like even within, like cities, there's like, okay, you have like your Parks and Rec, you have, there's different delegations for different things within that help it all run.
Right.
So,
yeah.
I mean, if you look at us, Night Owls, I guess, we're part of the media.
Mm-hmm.
So that's part of our community but I don't know how many people would consider us part of it because we don't have a large listener.
Right. Well, and
we're reaching, but
yeah,
it's that is now our subcommittee, community within disc golf.
Mm-hmm. And I would even say inside that subcommittee, there's even more, subcommittees, I guess.
Right.
Yeah. So, okay. Do you think that the more subcommittees we have, the more diluted the community becomes?
Ooh. I think it could be because I think once you branch out and have almost too many, what does that have to like stand on? What does your community have to stand on besides disc golf?
Mm-hmm.
But are all those things holding disc golf up?
Right.
And so that's kind of a like what is supporting what
right.
there? Are you supporting disc golf or is disc golf supporting your smaller community?
Right.
That's like the trade-off, or that's like a good question to have.
Mm-hmm.
Or can you no longer support disc golf through that and have to jump ship and like that dissolves?
Right. Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Yeah, that's kind of what I get at is, I see a lot of this fracturing, and I'll call it fracturing. I mean, that's a fairly negative connotation.
Yeah.
Not the way I mean it.
Right.
But I think that's the most...
It's like a cookie. Like if you smash a cookie and all of a sudden everything kind of like
not
breaks.
Not an actual cookie.
Yeah.
Like not Clash cookie.
No. Yeah. Like a Chips Ahoy.
Yeah. Okay.
An Oreo. Yeah. Right? You smash it. It's still a cookie. It's just in many different parts.
Right. So
I don't know how many times I'm going to like use the same analogy to describe it, but
no, I like it. I wonder, it's like a Humpty Dumpty. Like he's still an egg after he fell.
Right.
They're just trying to put him back together, right?
Yeah.
Do you think we're
just
at the, should we exactly naked?
Yeah.
So do you think that we are at a point where that fracturing is too much to keep the community as a whole? Or do you think we're just little bumps, things are going on, it's like Jiffy Pop, the popcorn is, but that tinfoil hasn't quite exploded yet?
Yeah, I think that we're at that point.
Okay.
I think that's I think the popcorn thing is good. Like it's still holding itself, or like the ozone in the atmosphere. Mm-hmm. There's still enough ozone to protect us.
Yeah.
But it's getting to the point that it's weakening.
Sure.
And then we might get burned.
Yeah. I like the Jiffy Pop better.
Yeah.
Because, I like the Jiffy Pop is like, if you don't know what Jiffy Pop is, go to your local grocery store. Every one of them have them. I don't know if I've ever seen a grocery store that doesn't have Jiffy Pop.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just basically a tin pan with a little tin handle or a metal handle with tin foil that kind of untwists and expands as the popcorn pops inside this tin.
Yeah.
And you do it over campfires. You can do it over your home stove if you want to. But at the very end, when it's really like, all of a sudden there's this hole that opens at the top and all the steam comes out. And the only way you can get to the popcorn is ripping this tin foil off of it.
Without burning your face.
Without burning, exactly. Or fingers and
hot
hands.
oil,
Yeah. I mean, it's not very, it's not a very friendly design.
No.
But it's fun to see this thing rise. Kids will get a kick out of it. And heck, if you've never seen one, you'll probably get a kick out of it if you're like 30. I would. Mm-hmm. I'd be like, that's awesome.
I just keep thinking of the movie Scream, where she's like, gets the phone calls and he's like, she's talking about making popcorn and it's Jiffy Pop.
Yep.
And then in Scary Movie, she's making popcorn and all of a sudden it gets super huge in the kitchen.
Exactly. And that's the way I feel it is. Like if you're talking Scary Movie, it's like getting huge in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And where's its breaking point, you know? Or it's like Real Genius where they fill the house with popcorn.
Oh, yeah.
And then they shoot it with a laser.
Yeah.
It's like that. I mean, are we at the point where we're about to burst? And I feel as a community, I think there's a lot of things that's been happening which are good, that are growing it. Our umbrella's getting larger. But I think there's also some little offshoots of things that, as a person that sits in this chair right now, I'm not sure I necessarily think they're the best thing in the world for disc golf.
Right.
Some of these communities are popping up, but who am I to say? Like I said, I'm just one guy sitting in a chair talking.
Sure.
You know.
I guess you'd have to reach out to them to see how much if you agree with it or yeah.
Right. And I'm very open. I have lots of conversations with some of our listeners and stuff. And I'm very candid, and we're going to talk briefly about one of them today because it coincides with the new rule with the PDGA. And very candid conversations with people. And I don't hold it back because I'm not coming from a place of you need to listen to me. This is the only right way. I come from a place of please educate me. Or hopefully I can educate you, or hopefully we can just have a good conversation and maybe we're at an impasse. Like, who knows?
Yeah.
So there you go. That's what community is. It is a good show.
Yeah.
All right. What'd you buy? Throw hanger flipper.
Okay.
Wait, can I butt in?
Yeah.
I bought Supreme Judges. I have some Supreme Judges. Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so we talked about buying the Discmania mystery box a little while ago. So, and we had mentioned that there was going to be compensation for people who bought the box at full price.
Yeah.
So what happened was Discmania sent out an email, and it wasn't like a coupon code or anything. It was an opportunity to buy discs, and so it was an opportunity to buy the new Neo Paradigms, which is going to be a new driver releasing in 2023. Very Enigma-ish. But you got to buy them at a discounted price. It was $9.99 a disc, so like $10 for neoplastic, which is pretty decent. There was a limit of 3, and it also was double stamped, which I think this might be the first time Discmania has had a double foil.
Oh, okay. So it's not a double stamp like factory second. No. Stamp. It's
that's what. Yeah, I mean like a
double foil. Two foil.
A double foil. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's basically just like if you've ever seen a Discmania Evolution disc, it's got like is it Evolution? No.
That's the DD line.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah. So it's the Neo, but like it's got the regular like Neo, the Evolution lettering, but then it's got like a little, I don't know what it is. It looks like almost like DNA or something around the outside of it.
Sure, yeah.
Circling it, some kind of special edition to mark that you got these discs early. So that's what I bought. Okay. A lot of people are like, why didn't you just give us a discount code or something? And they're like, well, it's a major undertaking for us to even do this and offer these discs at a discounted price. I mean, they got to make a little bit of money somehow, I guess. Because if they offered everybody a discount, that's an even bigger, or a refund, that's a lot of money to give back to people.
Right. Well, in essence, they should. You know. Yeah. So from a business owner, I look at it and say, it's kind of scummy, but in the same regard, I understand. Where they're coming from.
Sure. I mean,
so it's kind of scummy. Like it would be like someone comes into the restaurant and finds like a pitchfork in their burger. Like, I don't know, I'm just trying to make up something ridiculous. Right. Like, and they never eat it. Or we get like, oh shoot, well, here's a gift card to come back next time. I'm like it is kind of scummy to do that.
But at the same time, the people that bought the boxes at full price weren't doing anything. Like, that wasn't their fault that they bought it. It was Discmania's fault that all of a sudden this code got out and, or, like the code changed and whatever, and that it was offered for less. That doesn't mean that you give the people that did get that at the regular price a refund. Like, how like stores, when you go in and you're like, they'll match that price. That's not necessarily the case that happened here because it wasn't technically supposed to be on sale, and it's coming from the same company.
Yeah, but that's still their fault.
Well, it is.
It's kind of a punch in the nuts that the people that pay money to actually get early access are the ones that didn't get the discount everybody else did. It does, yeah. I mean, like I said, either way, they're trying to make it right.
Yeah.
Which is good.
Right.
That's awesome. So
I think some people would have rather had their money back, though.
Agreed.
They're not going to. Maybe they don't want the disc or whatever. So what's that to them?
Right.
Like, I didn't ask for this, but at the same time, it's cool to get.
That would have been
access.
satisfactory to me. Like what you did. Like, if I wanted to buy the disc, I would have bought the disc. If not, I'd been like, hey, they tried to make it right.
Right. I mean, you're still getting $8 off a disc or whatever it is. So
yeah, and that's a huge discount, and that's about the difference of what. And if you can do 3 of them, I mean, there's 30 to what is that 24 bucks.
Yeah.
I mean, that's more than what you paid difference wise for the box. So, I get it. I think they're doing an awesome job, or I think they're doing something to make it right. So in that regard, it's awesome. We could be critical because if they went the other way and just said, hey, here's your money back, people probably would have been pissed about that as well. But I see
it's a weird thing, but you're not getting money back because you spent the right amount of money.
Right.
So there's nothing to get back.
Well, it was that discount,
Yeah. It's just weird.
You're right. It's the guarantee, sometimes if you buy a car or something, hey, if you find it cheaper anywhere else for the next however many days, come back in and we'll refund the money for you or something, whatever. But yeah, it is what it is. I mean, I'm glad they're doing something for it. So you bought those then? Mm-hmm.
Paradigm.
Okay.
Yeah. High-speed driver.
Paradigm.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Anything else?
Nope, that was it.
All right. Did I tell you I got the Supreme Judges?
Supreme Judges.
I got 2 of them.
2.
They feel fantastic. So it is very similar to the, what is that stuff? The Royal Sense. Is that what it was? That's the kind of lower line plastic.
Yes,
because the Royal Grand is.
That's the more premium. They just released the Escapes in, kind of similar to that. But yeah, the Royal Sense would be what were the not the Agent, that's DD.
The Pure.
They
had them in the Pures for a little while.
Right. Or the Hope.
Yeah, the Hope and the Faith.
And the Faith,
yes. So those two, it's similar to that plastic, but it is, it seems different. It probably isn't. Or maybe there's just a different recipe that they're pushing out now. So they're called Supreme. Mm-hmm. I don't think there's a difference in the name of the plastic compared to the Escape, but it's not the same plastic.
So it's not the same plastic that the Ricky Slimer, the original proto.
Correct.
Oh, okay.
No, it didn't. It's not that same plastic. It is. So the rim is very stiff, kind of like you would compare to a Prime or maybe Classic, but I think it's more closer to Prime, a real hard kind of a DX style rim.
Sure.
Not cheap, but just the firmness of it. And then the flight plate has a little flex, kind of like a hybrid almost.
Oh.
Or I don't even know, like the Blowfly or the Nexus plastic from Innova.
Yeah.
Very similar to that. The flight plate is kind of gummy, has a little flex to it. Not a lot, but a little flex to it. But the rim itself it's tough. And the grip is amazing. So it still has a bit of a sheen to it. It almost looks like it is a premium plastic, but it looks like a premium plastic sheen. But when you grab it, it has that tacky, sticky.
Interesting.
It's a beautiful plastic.
Okay, I thought they were going to be really be the Royal Grand, just a Supreme judge for throwing. Not a lot of people would.
Before you leave, I'll grab one and you can see it. But yeah, I'm really, really impressed with it. I'm excited to see what it's going to be like. And I'm excited to see all the other molds they have in it.
Yeah.
And the other putter lines and all that stuff. But I'm glad the Judge was the first one they put out in it. So it makes me happy. But yeah, so I bought those 2. And then outside of that, I didn't really buy anything else. I've been waiting for Heiser disc racks to bring some more because I encouraged everybody to go buy them. And then I went to go buy one. And I've been telling everybody to go buy one. And they're like, hey, is there anything else I can get you for Christmas? Because they don't have them in stock anymore.
Oh.
The stackable ones.
Okay.
So
they have the big racks?
Yeah, they have the metal ones. And then they just brought back just the wood racks. The standalone
Not the standalone,
racks.
yeah, but...
not the stackable, but the standalone ones. I think they're only 30 inches wide or something instead of the 36.
Something like that.
So, yeah. So that's that. Either way, I think those are a great buy as well. I just don't have any personal experience with them, so I'm not sure what they're like. So, all right. Let's get into our preview. So, we're going to go over the trans rules that come in, and there is an email of a listener that we've been going back and forth for a little over a week since our last episode, Friday. He emailed me Friday night, maybe Saturday. I don't remember exactly when it was. And then we'll go over what do we think the ideal disc golf shop should have in it. We'll go over some more player speculations, and then we'll get into our random question. And then from there, we'll go into shop updates. And yeah, so let's get into it. So I was even debating with JP before we got on. Like, I don't want to talk about this anymore, but I feel like we have
an obligation.
Yeah, maybe I don't know if I'd call it an obligation because I'm not obligated to anybody to talk about anything. But I feel like it is in disc golf. It is a big news.
Yeah.
But man, this horse has been beaten so many different times. But the beautiful thing is the PDGA finally made a decision.
Right.
So if you don't know what we're talking about, the PDGA has come out and said that essentially trans women are not allowed to play in FPO at Pro Tour and Elite Series events. Well, the PDGA didn't say they can't play at Pro Tour. The Pro Tour said that they adopted this.
Right.
And then any silver events, Pro Tour events, or Elite Series. So
there's a caveat to that, though.
There was, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, based on their wording, it was you had to if you were a trans athlete, you had to complete your transition before age 12 or Tanner stage 2, which is when getting scientific here, testes drop for males.
Right.
And there's different stages of puberty, and that's what that stage is because that's when testosterone is more heightened when it drops. So as a male, tough decision to make before you're the age of 12, along with, or any family member, really, like that, a huge family decision.
Right.
So not totally discounting trans athletes. You just have to have your completion before this time.
Yes, before the 12.
Yeah.
So, and it was adopted. They basically mirrored, and there are changes, there are differences, but they basically mirrored the swimming guidelines, the FINA.
Yeah, something. Yeah.
So they basically mirrored that, and I did a lot of reading and read through everything, and to exhaustion. Like I was sitting on the couch.
There's
and I fell
a lot
asleep.
to read.
There's so much. They talked about they based a lot of their decision. So after reading about it, because we had some reactionary texts go back and forth in our little group, and based upon what I had read after doing that, because we had found out that Natalie Ryan is basically gonna
sue.
Yeah, sue. There's going to be a lawsuit against the PDGA. And I kind of said, well, good luck, because it's been done over and over and over again in multitude of sports, including the IOC has had some lawsuits. So nothing's ever been changed for the most part. Like they've never been successful lawsuits. Now they have had success in the sense that they opened some eyes, had some rule changes, softened some stuff, or strengthened some stuff, whatever it may be. But really, there's no. So when I said that, I was like, yeah, good luck. Good for her. She's standing up. She's doing her thing. But I just thought it was going to fall flat. As I'm reading through everything, man, there's a good chance that she has something here, because and I'm not a lawyer.
Yeah.
I just play one on TV. The likelihood of her winning, because it is based on a membership opinion rather than facts. I mean, there is a portion of facts, but the majority of their decisions seem to be based on membership opinion.
Yeah, so from what I had heard and read is that they had the subcommittee, but a lot of the information they were pulling was from articles, like there's a Newsweek article that they had listed as
some more references,
a reference. Numerous other they referenced doctors' opinions or like people that had studied it, but they didn't necessarily talk to those doctors. They didn't get like direct medical research from anybody, probably because they just don't have the budget for that to like go out and like.
I know they got pretty deep coffers.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, I guess that's true. But like to not get direct data and rely on just articles, it's kind of crazy to me.
Right. I mean, it's like going into your college library and, you know, just pulling books off the shelf and finding what you need for as far as resources and references.
Yeah.
But they're all going to appeal to what you're looking to do, correct? You know, mostly. So when they take these things, they're dismissing, if they're using these articles or, you know, research papers or whatever it is, there might be some, you know, very specific, what do they call those things? Like the magazines of very specific jobs.
I know what you're talking about, like medical journals.
Yeah, like journals and things like that. So you look at using those type of things. Basically, you've said, hey, these things are what I feel are right, and the rest of you guys suck.
Sure.
You know? So it just seems like a lot of it because they did no research themselves, and there was nothing conducted on their behalf other than an opinion poll.
And that wasn't even theirs. That was put up, I mean, on behalf of,
yes.
Right. But I don't think I don't know if they directly asked the person to do it.
Yeah, whether they did or didn't, you know.
Yeah.
And then that poll itself was we've talked about it before. I'm not going to get into it. I mean, we have screenshots of it. I finally found someone that sent us a bunch of screenshots of all the screens of all the questions. But, you know, that was very focused and leading for the most part. And even in their research and their findings, they used almost all those questions as bearing points of it. Now, like talking about political leanings and things like that, they use that as reference points in their decision.
Right. Like in the article it showed, there's a graph showing
conservative to not conservative.
Right.
Yeah.
It was like they showed that range of like the 1 through 7 that we had. Like, okay, here's where people mostly lie.
Right.
And it was like 6, which strongly right.
Yeah, and I think it was like 1 to 8 or something like that.
Something like
and
that.
then 6 was the average or something of a certain question that was answered about trans females competing in the FPO division. So, you know, they use a lot of stuff that is simply leading and targeting or targeted, and they use it in their documentation and references for why they made the decisions that they made. And it was unanimous on the board for the first vote, and then the second vote was 5 to 2.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's pretty overwhelming. So she might have a lawsuit there.
And I think they did say when it came to the survey that they did note that there perhaps was stretching of the truth when the survey was taken. Like they put a disclaimer saying that because like the number of FPO athletes that, and this was just DGPT touring women, 75. I don't think 75 women even compete in tournaments. It's like...
Yeah, but that doesn't mean there's not 75
that's true.
women that have competed in the Disc Golf Pro Tour.
But, I mean, there's nothing stopping anybody from saying they're a DGPT FPO athlete on that survey.
Right.
Like, anybody could have done that and, like, just kind of swayed the
Well, and that's
poll.
that's the difficulty of using one of those polls, those anonymous, you know. And I get it, you got to collect your statistics somewhere, but there's also a proper way to present statistics, and it is like top 10%, bottom 10%, throw them out, take this median range, you know, and it's...
Right, you don't want the outliers, you want the median.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, you know, when you talk about that stuff, that's why I feel statistics can be manipulated to show whatever you truly want them to show.
Yeah.
Unless it's something egregious on one side or the other. For the most part, you can lean them either direction you want to. So, yes, they can support how they feel because if they took the top 10%, bottom 10%, I bet you some of those percentages would be a lot different.
True.
You know, and I'm not saying they made the right choice, wrong choice. I'm just kind of criticizing, because this is what I do. I'm just kind of criticizing the way they presented it because of the lawsuit that most likely will happen. And I mean, there's like a GoFundMe out there for it.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
that's
for
nuts.
legal fees.
Yeah. For legal fees. Now, I haven't went and found it myself to look at it.
I just saw a screenshot of it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's all I saw as well. So, and simply because I'm not interested, I'm not going to donate to it. You know, it's not something I'm interested in trying to sue myself, if that makes any sense, because that's what you're doing. You're suing a membership. And I'm not interested in that. I think a vote, if there's something that you feel that is egregious and needs to be changed, the only way you can do it is by changing the people in charge.
Right.
You know, or suing the, suing the organization that controls the sport you love.
I just feel like that's a really, really uphill battle, especially with, I don't know what her case is going to be, if it's going to be based on that it's purely an opinion, based on opinion, like she can prove that it was maybe not taken from the medical portion of it, and rather than it was taken from like purely an opinion piece, and that they don't have anything to base it off of there. The discrimination part is going to be hard based on that they are going to allow athletes after that. So, I mean, it's not that they're not being inclusive, but they're not being inclusive to people that have transitioned later in life. That's the hard part.
She's making the court case that they were personally attacking her.
Well, yeah.
I think she's out of line there. I don't think it has anything to do with just her. I think she's the catalyst, but there always has to be.
Like the exception to the rule.
But they're still keeping all of her records, all that stuff. I mean, that's still there. But what I'm saying is that she feels personally attacked by this rule. Like, this rule was the Natalie Ryan rule.
Yeah.
It may have been the Natalie Ryan rule, but not because of Natalie Ryan. She just happens to be the example at this present moment.
Right.
Because she's good.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like wrong place, wrong time.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. I hope it's not personal. If it is,
I mean, if that can be proved, yeah. Right.
If it is, they're in trouble. But, I guess when I look at it all, bravo, I'll clap my hands because they did something. Finally, they're not resting on laurels that aren't there. They're not resting on another organization's stance. What they're doing is saying, this is what we say.
Yeah.
Great. They made a decision.
But like you like we had talked earlier about with the swimming, like you had mentioned that whatever the measurement is, you said it was like it's the amount of testosterone and like testosterone level and whatever they're testing. Is off by like 0.5 compared to like the FINA.
Yeah, it's like 0.5 less, so it's at 2.
And they're at...
With the FINA, it's 2.5.
Yeah. Kind of a weird number.
And where do they pull that from?
Exactly.
So, and there are smarter people out there than me that understand that stuff. Where are they pulling that from?
And I guess what I want to know is, I don't know if I haven't seen a number. I want to know what the average is for a woman. Like,
they've given averages, and the averages in that test they gave an average, and no, that was an Ulti-World article, but they said the average was anywhere between like 1.5. No, it was 2 and like 5 or something like that.
Because they said it was noted that athletes had to be within 1 year below. Because it was like one test had to be like within a year you had to be below a certain number. Within 2 years you had to be below a number.
Yeah, to sustain it.
Yeah, to sustain it. And female athletes, if they're competing like at a high level, their level might be a little higher anyway from that. Yeah. Like, I'm not going to say Paige or, I'm not, just.
No, I mean, hormones are a weird thing to measure because they fluctuate between person to person. I think what the intention of that rule is, or intention of that test is to make sure that there is no competitive advantage. Right. And truly just competitive advantage. It's not whether you're female or male enough. It's because people are using that argument. Well, some biological women may not be able to play. No. They're not testing biological women because they're biologically women. They're seeing if there's a biological advantage with trans women. Right? I mean, that's what they're testing. So, that argument's kind of null. It's mute to me, in my opinion, because it's just you're trying to create an emotional stir with that. And they're trying, and that's a scientific thing that they're trying to do. where that number lies. Like I said, smarter people than me understand why that works. I haven't taken the time to really figure that out.
Yeah. I don't know.
And I don't, to tell you the truth, I don't know if I will.
I mean, it's worth pointing out though that if you are a trans athlete, that if you're competing not as a pro, you can compete A level or A tier and below.
Anything that's not a silver event and A tier and below.
Right.
So basically the competition is still there. You can still compete as a trans female in FPO. You can still compete A tier below anything that's not a
as long as you're within those levels.
Silver. As long as you're within those levels. Yeah. Correct.
But Natalie technically could then compete at USWDGC.
That's correct.
Or no, throw pink.
Oh, I think, isn't that? Oh, no, because it's not elite. It's just still an A tier.
It's yeah.
Unless they change it, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think that's, yeah. So it's out there. She doesn't have to stop playing. She just can't play in the capacity that she was on the big stage. Is that a hamstring? Yeah, of course it is.
Yeah.
Of course it is. It sucks for her. I think one of the things that I want to point out is emotionally. So the trans community is very high rates of depression, mental illness, and suicide.
Yeah.
I just want to point out that yes, you may or may not agree with Natalie Ryan's life. That doesn't mean be mad. I mean, be mean to her.
Right. Absolutely.
Be decent human beings. Be kind, because people handle emotional stress in way different. And when you know the trans community has such a high volatility rate with suicide, take it easy. Like, just be kind.
We all go through stuff.
We all do. Exactly. And that's kind of the thing that I worry about the most is that Natalie Ryan seems very sure of who she is. Mm-hmm. And she seems very confident, but you don't know what goes on behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And you don't want to be that catalyst that pushes someone over the edge, right?
Yeah. That'd be pretty heavy on your soul.
Man. And you may never know either.
Yeah.
And that's what I would probably sucks. I mean, to know that someone that has no bearing in your life, you cause them that emotional stress. Like, that sucks, So my plea to everybody is just be kind.
Yeah.
It's that easy. Like, you don't have to understand or empathize or even sympathize with what this person is going through. Just be nice to them. Like, we just got to get along, and we don't even have to get along. Just be nice,
or at least respect.
Right.
I guess.
Just respect the human.
Yeah.
So, all right. Are you done?
I think so. I'm
done too.
I've heard so much about this with listening to the things for the past couple of days. Yeah. I'm on overload.
Well, and just I think through the last 3 or 4 months, just popping up here and there, like through the season, it's just something that, and the conversations that I've had with so many different people, and I apologize, I was going to talk about an email, but I don't know. I just don't know if I want to continue pushing this rhetoric. Like, I don't know if it needs to be. A decision has been made, and that was my biggest problem with it. Mm-hmm. So at this point, I'm content. Like, the decision may not be what some people want, but the decision was made.
Yeah.
So here we go.
So I think, it was made, and I think definitely not the last we're going to hear of it.
No.
So, I mean, there will be updates along the way within the next year, next 2 years, 3 years, down the road. Like, this rule will probably eventually evolve. Mm-hmm. The court case will have, we'll be hearing about that, and it's just going to be ongoing.
Right, exactly. And it'll probably end up making mainstream media because of the lawsuit.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I wish everybody luck. I wish everybody stays positive, happy, and healthy. And, hopefully we get through this, and it is what it is, at this point. So,
and if you're discontent, vote in the PDGA elections.
Right. Or don't support it, as much as I hate telling people not to renew their PDGA, if you don't agree with this, that's one way to speak, but unfortunately, if you don't renew your membership, you can't compete, nor can you vote. Yeah. So, keep that in mind. All right. With that being said, let's move on to the Ideal Disc Golf Shop. So the Ideal Disc Golf Shop will have no regulation on who can come in, who cannot. I think there's laws out there that protect us from that. So
Yeah.
All right. So if you were to design your own disc golf shop, what is the stuff that you would put in it? So before we start, and now that everybody's all riled up, let's get something cool. Send an email through Instagram, whatever. Like, just reach out to us. Well, what do you think is one of the things that most disc golf shops are missing that you would love to see?
Yeah.
So, and keep it in the walls of the disc golf shop, because let's be realistic. There are very few disc golf shops in the United States that have a disc golf course out their backyard.
Right.
So, like driving ranges, things like that can't be accomplished inside. Like, you can send them to us, but I'm thinking more inside 4 walls of a shop, or 10 walls, or however many walls you have, but basically inside the 4 walls.
Yeah.
So what do you think?
Ooh. Man, I mean, I'd love to have a practice basket inside the shop if it's a big enough area.
Yep.
You know, it's just to, it's hard because like you want to try stuff out, you know, but at the same time it's like, well, I'm going to beat up this disc.
Yeah.
Or you just have, or, you know, if the shop sets aside like so many certain kinds of putters, it's like, okay, you want to test this? We have this for you. Feel it out, whatever. And you're like, okay, that's cool. That's definitely something. Or like throwing net.
Yeah.
Like that would just be, I mean, it's hard because you're only getting 20 feet. But at least you can get the feel, how it comes out of your hand, all that. That'd be kind of cool. I don't like.
Well, and heck, you can go buy it and be like, I want to throw this right now. I'm going to go toss it up against the net, or I'm going to.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, that's kind of a cool thing. Laser tag. No.
Laser tag.
I mean, that's 2 pretty big things. Like, you always think, yeah, like, okay, we got discs, we have, like door disc golf, like had like that little area, like the little lounge area. We had the TVs and like couch and all that for a little bit.
I liked that. I kind of missed that. I mean, we outgrew it because we needed the space in the shop.
Right.
But I wish we had that little area still, you know, because it was nice because people would come in and they'd just chill. Like, even people that had nothing to do with disc golf, they would just see a couple leather recliners and a couple leather seats and a coffee.
I mean, it's kind of moved to the back of the store. Like there's the 2 smaller chairs back there, but like
I moved them back to the front again.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, so they're up against the windows now. But,
oh, okay.
But yeah, because I moved all the grip stuff to the back of the store, the grip and the grip 6 and the.
Well, wasn't like there a lot of door disc merchandise up front for a little bit?
Yeah, and that's what I pushed to the back.
Oh, okay.
Like there were shirts and stuff like that, so I pushed those to the back. But yeah, okay. What else?
I mean, it'd be cool to have food.
Food, okay. Like, what do you talk about food? Like popcorn, or are we talking like pub grub?
Yeah, like pub grub would be kind of fun.
Okay.
Like, I don't know, the ability to sit down at like your local shop, watch a tournament, and, like eat food there, and like talk with people like that. Yeah. Talk disc golf. Like I mean, very rarely do I have the opportunity to do that stuff like that at home. Like everybody's like, I want to watch this. I want to watch this.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, I'm going to go in the bedroom and turn on, you know, whatever tournament's on this weekend by myself.
Yeah.
And then like sit on my phone and text people.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Be like, did you see that?
Yeah.
Don't spoil it.
Yeah. Yes.
It's true.
It's true.
And if you're sitting there with somebody, then you can watch it.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't know.
What's that random noise now?
Refrigerator?
Is that, yeah, that
maybe,
is
I don't know. A lot of buzzing in this house.
I know, it's weird. What else?
Oh, man.
That's about it?
That's what I can come up with for now. I
Okay.
mean,
So, yeah, I kind of envision it like if I had like a blank slate to deal with and kind of unlimited room, that type of stuff. Like,
yeah.
I would have an entertainment area. Something that could be more of a community. We're getting back to this community thing, more of a community thing. So where, you know, it's not just the disc golf community, but anybody can come in. Like maybe I have like 4 or 5 arcade machines, and I've talked about this before. Some like old school arcade machines, like Galaga and things like that, where old people can come in, young people can come in, and it's even more of a nostalgic thing. Like these arcade cabinets, people love those things. You know, I mean, you see them all over the place as far as like being able to buy them and just throw them together in your house, like those type of things.
Oh, I was gonna say, like, you guys kind of had one.
Well, we did. Yeah. We ran out of room for it again, but, because there is a priority, you know, obviously selling discs keeps the doors open.
Exactly.
So, but these free arcade machines did not.
Yeah.
But I would have something like that. And then, you know, obviously a couple TVs to tournaments and, you know, those couches, seating area. You're right. I would like to see some sort of food, but in a disc golf shop, I don't know if like hamburgers and pizzas and stuff is appropriate. Well, it may be. Who knows? But, you know, maybe like bar peanuts, pretzels, popcorn, like that type of stuff. Yeah, might be okay. You know, like just like snack food while you're sitting
Chips
there.
And
you
salsa,
can just
something like
exactly.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah, just little grubby things, and then I like I've always dreamt of having an area like a driving range area that's large enough that you have a cage, but you can also throw in there, so it's kind of a netted area,
right?
And then basically every time we get a delivery of discs, I take one of each mold and pop it in there. Yeah. So I'm not going to put one of each plastic of each mold, but just like, hey, we want a Supreme Judge. Like there's a Supreme Judge in there. You can go ahead and go mess with it and see what you think. Because once they run their course, like we can just sell them as used. It's not that big of a deal. Or if someone's like, hey, I don't want to pay this much. It's like, hey, there's one over in the throwing thing. Just go grab that one. Like we'll sell it to you for whatever. You know, because I don't think there'll ever be a loss. But then you'd have 100, 150, I mean, at a time, just sitting there waiting for you to throw. Yeah. You know, and if used disc comes in, we can just take those and throw them on the shelf, and people can throw those all they want and just buy them. So it's kind of one of those, like, test drive a car, you know, you put a couple miles on it, but I'm not going to let you go and, like, take it to California and back. Sure. So I'd love to see that. And I would also like to see some sort of, like, this is going to sound stupid, like a members area. Okay. But like an area that you can go and it has, you know, some sort of like exclusivity to it. Sure. And through that, you would get early access, you would get whatever it would be, or even just an area that you can go and just like relax and get away from the hustle and bustle. And I know that sounds stupid, but, you know, it's make it that more exclusive, fun, like, hey, you can get in there, but this is what we got to do first before you can get into there. You know, the Patreons of disc golf. Exactly. And it would be nothing stupid. It would be like, maybe there's still like, I don't know, coffee up there, and then like drinks and water and stuff in a little cabinet, and that's where one of the TVs would be, or something stupid like that. And that's a place where like VIPs go. Like, or that's like a team area. Yeah, maybe even a team area. Exactly. Like that whole vibe. You know, something that just gives people the ability to feel special. Sure. You know, so that seems to be wasted space. Now, I would also like beverages of some sort. Yeah. I'm not convinced that beer, because I know Another Round does it, and I think it's fantastic. I think it's great. But not everybody drinks beer. That's right. Like the community aspect, like if I want to bring in the Boys and Girls Club, or if I want to bring in, like to have like 7 brews on tap, maybe that's not great. Like, because I love hanging out with dudes our age. I love hanging out with guys that are a bit younger than us, over 21, you know, that type of stuff, just a little bit younger than us. But I also like love the next generation. I would love to have them come in and like, let's do a quick putting league. Let's do whatever, expose them to it. And then the next thing is I want a mini course. Oh, wow. Yeah. So like have 18 holes in the shop. Yeah. Where you take your mini and you go. That'll be fun. And then do something stupid where like the record holder gets access to the VIP area. Oh, yeah. You know? Or gets, I don't know, 10% off as long as they hold the record. Oh, that'd be cool. Something like that. And then outside of that, I'm not sure. I think I was just thinking about a simulator. A simulator would be great. Like if you could like pull up like Maple Hill or like a course like that and just like be able to play it. Yeah. That'd be pretty fun. I've heard and seen grumblings that it's coming. Okay. That there are things out there that are actually in the works, and it could be coming in the near future.
Ooh, that'd be fun.
Which would be awesome. And I think if they do that, I'm going to be one of the first people to really look into getting one of them. Because I think they would be phenomenal. And I think that would be a huge draw for certain people.
Yeah.
And it would give us something to do in the winter up here. So keep our arms warm.
Yeah.
But man, that's such an intricate machine. Like that would be nuts to figure out how the programming would go with the spin, the angle, like the speed, all that stuff. Right. And the type of disc.
Because like it'd be hard. It'd kind of be like playing Disc Golf Valley, but like, because.
But in reality, most golf simulators are kind of like that too.
Yeah.
They're not a true representation of the sport. I mean, but you get the swing.
Like I haven't gone on a disc golf. Or not a disc golf, sorry, just a golf simulator. So, like, I don't know, like, okay, say you hit the, like, screen in front of you or whatever. There's, like, cameras or something to, like, judge. But, like, how does it judge, like, a draw or a fade? Like, does it do that?
Yeah, it does a little bit.
Because, like, I can just imagine, like, trying to throw a disc on Anheuser or Heiser, it's can be difficult to judge that.
Yeah, I'm not sure how they work. I know there's sensors in the mat that you hit off of, so you have to hit it within a certain area, and there's cameras that pick up like swing speed and club head speed and all that stuff. Like the ones at Dick's, like you go and like hit balls into Dick's. Hit balls at Dick's in the golf. I'll use Shields. You hit balls at Shields. I think Shields has them too.
All right.
Oh my goodness! Why? Who names a sporting goods store Dick's?
It fills it with balls.
It has a bunch of balls in it. So, the lunacy.
If there is a end of year like recap of like sound clips, that's like
that might be one of the best ones.
Yeah, that's up there.
Oh my goodness! Yeah, so. They're neat. They're really neat. I mean, they have the Golf and More just down the road in Egg Harbor, which I've gone quite a few times. It's not the highest quality simulators, but they're still pretty good. You know? But there are some times when you're like, dude, I hit that perfect. And it's like an absolute, slice, or you scold it or something like that. Or there's times where you hit it absolutely horrible. Doesn't even hit the screen. And it's like this perfect booming drive. And you're like, all right, great.
Yeah, I caught the one camera that's like, hey.
Exactly. Yeah. Or the club head. Like I've noticed my driver's it's a white head. It's an RBZ. It has a white head. And if I come through like kind of perfectly, it picks up my club. So wherever my club goes is kind of where it is. So, and usually clubs are on the line pretty much. So, but it picks it up as the ball. I noticed. I don't know. She had a couple updates that supposedly fixed that, but I was like, dang it. Cause there were some times where I'd be like, I'd rack it and it would just be like a perfect hit. And then it would like dribble forward. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Cause it's picking the club head speed, not the ball speed.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah. And I'm trying to think of what else. I don't know. Yeah, I think that's about it. I mean, there's obviously you want all the normal disc golf stuff like apparel and bags and discs and accessories, but all those little like all the other accoutrement, I think would be neat. But I think the biggest thing, like you said, is having some sort of throwing net and putting basket in the shop would be awesome. And I think being able to run leagues in shop, like putting leagues in shop while they're watching a game and you're playing, watching a tournament, and then you're playing whatever, you're playing knockout, or you could be doing the, a putting league, like getting in your rounds at the putting league. Like, I think that'd be a great idea.
Absolutely.
Especially if you only have to come in, do your thing, you can leave.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of nice too, because then you could probably get more people involved. Like, it doesn't have to be this big, like, everybody's here at the same time. Like, no, as a shop, like, make sure you get your round in between Monday and Friday at this time, and
that'd be cool.
We'll score them all up,
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, anything else?
No.
No, that's it. Do you want to go over player speculation while I go pee-pee? Or should we just pause it?
Pause.
All right. We'll be back. And we're back. So, I pee a lot right now because I'm doing the carnivore thing. I've been doing it for about 3 or 4 days now.
Yeah.
It's funny because Bobby and I are going back and forth, and we're talking about, like, yeah, I really love eggs, especially when they have, like, mayonnaise and pickles and onions.
Okay.
You know, in between 2 slices of bread. And he's like, yeah, we can add burger patties with some Chipotle sauce and bacon. And I'm like, yeah, that'd be good too.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
I want to ask you, it'd be interesting. Like, obviously, the Clash boxes sold out, like, fast.
yeah, it would be nice to get an update from him.
Yeah. Just curious.
Yeah.
Or if he has, I just want to hear what, like, his thoughts are on, like, the new discs and stuff, too. Like, what he thinks about them.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea because he had them, so I'm sure he's been out throwing them, or maybe he hasn't. But yeah, I'd have to chat with him about it. Our conversations actually very rarely revolve around disc golf. It's kind of funny. So, all right. So, player speculation and contract. So, we'll go over the ones we know already. Kyle Klein, 4 years. Calvin Heimberg, 5 years. Nico is with LSD, of course, now. Lone Star Discs. Paige left DD. Big speculation on what's going on. Macy Valadiaz has left as well.
No, she resigned.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Yeah, she resigned.
Yeah,
You're
resigned
right.
1 year, and she moved up to the Supreme team.
And didn't Ricciardi?
Oh,
No, she wasn't up. She wasn't up. I'm sorry.
Oh.
So the big news is AB leaves Innova.
Yeah, Anthony Barela leaves it.
Isn't that crazy? Like,
It is.
Anthony Barela.
He's been with them for up to this point 9 years.
Yeah. So story behind AB is he was actually brought into Innova. So I watched Innova Live today.
Oh,
with,
yeah, right. They had like a Q&A thing going on or something.
Right, with Panis. What's his?
Jeff
Panis. And basically he said that Paul Macbeth brought AB in under Paul Macbeth. Paul Macbeth since left because he was
when
actually
he was a junior.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he was actually discussing the unhappiness with Innova players and why they're leaving. And he basically said it's a two-way street. And, you know, sometimes we just can't live up to expectations and they can't live up to expectations. So we just decide that, you know, it's time. And sometimes it's just time, you know. And so it's kind of a very generic answer, but it didn't seem that Innova was really taking on a lot of responsibility. And he also said that we have 26 touring pros. And I was like, yeah, that's a lot. And he goes, that's a lot to manage. And kind of, you know, those like, well, you know, we should just get rid of a few people so we don't have so many people to manage. And I'm like, oh my goodness. So it was a strange conversation. I don't think it was meant that way. And I don't probably think that's their philosophy, but it's a reasonable question. And he approached it. Like I said, it was a very vague answer to it. But so with AB leaving, speculations, where's he going?
Okay, there's quite a few places. From what like his Instagram post was, or the post that he had made, it sounded like he didn't want to leave. Like he was offered something, and that he was hoping they were going to match it at least. And then he's like, "Well, it's really like disappointing to leave."
Right. There's definitely respect there. I don't think it's leaving on bad terms. I think it's leaving for better opopportunity.
Yeah, I think so.
What it is.
Right. It's not. I think he's just disappointed that he didn't get what he thought he would get potentially on what was offered.
Yeah.
Okay, so number one was, I think people are thinking Lone Star because they're building a huge team. I could see that being a good fit. Number two for me would be Discraft. Paul's there, obviously. Mentor. AB modeled a lot of his game initially on Paul's form and things of that. He's got a good relationship with Adam Hammis. Like Adam stayed out at AB's house, like his family's house. Well, he was at college and Adam Hammis was doing was doing tournaments, you know, out there. So they have a really good relationship. I kind of feel like he wants to be bigger than what he is right now. So maybe not being behind like Dickerson, Hammis. There's Ben Calloway, Chandler Fry, like Yuli. There's a number, but Yuli's from Arizona too, so there's a connection there. There's just a number of different people there that I feel like he would still be behind, so he wouldn't shine as bright. Infinite's a good one. He's like friends with Drew. I always say Prodigy, MVP. Like there's just a lot of people that I think could offer things. DGA.
So you say that. That's who I think he's going to.
DGA?
I think he's doing DGA.
Okay.
Because DGA has basically no male pros that are of note, of like serious note, high end.
Marweed.
Yeah, but of the
But as-
caliber of
yeah.
AB, I don't know. I think AB is a much better player than Marweed.
True. Anthony definitely stepped up last year. Like,
And this year.
yeah. Yeah. Well, that's why I mean, like this
Oh,
past
yeah.
like touring season, we saw him on like a number of league cards. He was leading some tournaments. He's always kind of had some mental game things where like tight situations, like his putting wouldn't be on. Like he's just not like a terrific putter.
He's
but
100% all the time in his putts. Like there's no like halfway. There's no like I'm just gonna lay this in the chains.
True.
It's like I'm blasting the pole.
Right.
Like
That's true. When he commits, he commits.
yes, correct.
Yeah, that's a good point. Because he's got all the talent in the world.
And he has a disc golfer's build.
Yep.
Tall, slender, lanky. You know, I mean, he's athletic.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm along the lines of Discraft or DGA.
Yeah.
I think my number one pick is DGA because I think he's going to stand amongst the top on DGA. I don't think there's nobody that outshines him on DGA
True.
at all. So he will be their guy.
Right.
Discraft, I wouldn't, and he can still throw Discraft
Oh, yeah.
with DGA.
Right.
So or is it the other way around? Because Discraft, maybe I bet you their relationship.
Yeah,
is
I think
similar.
so.
If he goes to Discraft, I think that he could. I think that he could make a splash, but I think he's just going to be one amongst the numbers again.
Right.
Like Innova.
Yeah.
I don't think he wants to make a lateral move. Or maybe he's super happy because he's still got another year of college left. So maybe he'd be completely
True.
fine, I guess, establishing himself on that team.
Right.
Lone Star, I don't think so. I don't think he is amongst the yee party. And that sounds bad. That's not in a derogatory way. I just don't think he fits that vibe.
Okay.
I could be completely wrong. But I don't think he fits that.
You don't see like Chandler Kramer, AB, and like Nico like meshing? No? Okay.
I don't. But I don't know anything about AB, like
Yeah.
his personality or anything like that. I mean, I know he's a pretty quiet, off to himself type of guy. He doesn't seem to be very fiery.
He's in a frat.
Well, that doesn't mean much.
No,
I
it
mean,
doesn't, but I just.
I've talked to a lot of frat boys because, oh boy. I think those are the two most logical. I mean, if he goes a Lone Star, that would surprise me greatly. Like MVP.
What about like Hooligan? That's an offshoot of Lone Star, but I don't know.
Yeah, but with the two molds they have.
Yeah, 2 or 3,
You can
whatever it
throw
is.
an open
Yeah.
bag. I mean, Prodigy wouldn't surprise me either, especially with all the young guns they got there.
Yeah.
So I think those three would be my top three.
Okay.
Would be DGA, Discraft, then Prodigy.
Okay.
I think if he gets on Prodigy, I think that'll help their sales finally. I think
Yeah.
he's a guy that'll move discs.
What about? I didn't really think about Discmania. Could you see like him, Simon Eagle, and Kyle Klein?
Yes, but I think that would be a punch in the gut to Casey White.
Oh yeah.
Like I feel like Casey White would be straight to the nuts for him.
Yeah.
You know.
I could see that.
I don't know if they care or not. But yeah, I don't know. I could
That's
see
an
it.
interesting fit, but yeah, that's what
I mean, I could necessarily that's not the right word. I could see him going to any manufacturer.
yeah,
And if he went to DD or Lat 64 or Westside,
Right.
Like Westside is in desperate need of a top level pro.
I was thinking about that as well. Like, yeah,
And with Westside, you can throw all trilogy brand. Like he could do very well there too. I was trying. There were some pictures of him playing the tournament this past weekend where he won. And there was a couple pictures with him holding discs. He was still throwing Innova
Yeah.
stuff. I was like, dang it.
I was looking on the factory store today too, just to see if they had his Tour Series disc, and it's not there. Taken down.
Yeah, that's unfortunate too. Why not get rid of it? You
Yeah.
know, they had Ricky Destroyers for months after
Yeah.
Ricky was gone. They probably had a lot of them though. So yeah, so let's get into the next one. Emerson Keith. So fun little conversation between Ben Korowski
Yeah.
and Emerson Keith through Instagram.
Yeah.
So I guess I should just read it to give it relevance. The conversation went something like, "Hey, you going to Lone Star?" Let me see. Okay, so it says, headed the Lone Star, and then Emerson Keith responds back with a smiley face with cowboy hat on. And then Ben responds back, so yes, question mark, laugh out loud. And then Emerson Keith responds back with like a shruggy shoulder dude.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. And then he says, all right, sounds good. Hope you pick the Lariat as your signature disc. And then Emerson, this is kind of the like the icing on the cake or the silver bullet, or you need to go buy a lottery ticket. So that's just basically saying, man, how are you getting all this?
Feeling pretty lucky.
Or Emerson Keith is just really good at playing games.
Yeah.
But like, hey, you're pretty good. You're lucky, you know, and go buy a lottery ticket. And if Emerson Keith picks the Lariat as a signature disc, he's my favorite player, officially.
So Ben did some sleuthing to go and ask Emerson this. He noticed that the owner of Lone Star
only has like 100 and some friends or something on Facebook.
One of them happens to be Emerson Keith. And so he was kind of making the connection of maybe, just maybe, that this was a thing.
That's pretty good investigation work.
Yeah.
Like, I'm impressed by that.
Yeah.
And
Ben's doing some investigation of his team members and everything.
Exactly. He's trying to figure out where on the hierarchy he lands of the Ranger team. So,
oh, man.
Yeah. So, I mean, I would love to see Emerson Keith there.
It's a good fit. I mean,
agree.
Being from Texas, it makes perfect sense.
Absolutely. Yep. And I think he has the same, like, he gives me that vibe.
Yeah.
He gives me the, like, kind of fun, kind vibe, you know, which will counterbalance Nico, which is probably a really good pickup for Lone Star at this point.
Right.
But I have a feeling that Lone Star is going to be very divisive. And for those of you who don't know, when when Discmania came on the scene, they were very much the same way. They were very divisive in the way they did things because there was a lot of tournament stuff that UC did that people may or may not have liked. I'm not going to get into the details because I don't want to talk about it. But so they were very divisive as well. So, but I think Emerson Keith is going to be a good pickup if he goes to Lone Star.
I think so too.
And if he does, then great job, Ben.
Yeah.
Keep up the investigations.
I don't know where I heard it. I know someone mentioned that Thomas Gilbert might be leaving Prodigy.
Has officially said he's leaving Prodigy.
He did?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's official that he is leaving Prodigy. Official as in his concession speech, not a concession piece, his winning speech at whatever tournament he was at. Basically, he laid out that he wasn't going back to Prodigy.
Okay.
So there was something said there.
Yeah, I didn't officially see a post or anything on social media, but I had heard that something was said.
Yeah. It doesn't surprise me.
No.
It really doesn't surprise me.
2 years there? Is that correct?
Yeah, 2 years. 2 years. So, and he did well, but it didn't seem like because I don't know if I've ever seen a Thomas Gilbert. Yeah, there was a Thomas Gilbert disc for Signature Series. Yeah,
right. Like they all had the the profile, like the outline or whatever
of themselves. Yeah.
And then so I was listening to the Upshot, and last week they had Paige Shue on.
I heard that.
And so she was talking about her and Grady going out on tour together, like and maybe like flip flopping tournaments or who competing where, like the whole family is going to go out.
Right.
Her initial thing, like the first thing off the bat was she said that she wasn't getting the discs that she had wanted from DD.
Because of the overseas not making them in-house.
And so she kind of missed out on some opportunities, perhaps with signature discs arriving on time or whatever that. The next biggest thing she had mentioned that I caught, they're looking for travel, a way to get around the country.
Yeah.
Discraft gave Chris Dickerson the RV last season to be able to do that. I don't know how many they have.
Right.
Maybe they have another one. But it seems like they would be able to offer that.
But she has a travel van, unless she has sold it.
I mean, like a travel van for 3 people, like her, Grady, and the baby.
Yes,
like I feel like they need something bigger.
You want like a big RV or something like that. I could see that.
Discmania RV.
Yeah, that would be. Yeah, that's been out there for a while.
Yeah.
I don't see Discraft. For some reason, I just don't see Discraft. So she talked about how consistent the discs were.
Okay.
And
That can't be Prodigy.
exactly. So no Prodigy. And I'm getting MVP vibes.
Okay.
For some reason. I'm just getting
Not
Overmold
Innova?
vibe,
No?
not
Yeah,
Innova. Because it's how consistent they are, the flight out of the
Sure.
box, and that's always what they talk about in
Yeah.
MVP. How
Yeah.
they fly that way and they stay that way. There's no break-ins, So I think it's gonna be them, or they're gonna make some sort of like Castoplast, which would also be kind of like a shady dealings because
Ooh.
Lat 64 molds Castoplast. And
But if she's having problems getting discs from overseas,
I doubt she would go.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. So it has to be a manufacturer
kind of
that has
continental
molding
United
in the
States.
United States.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess that makes sense.
or like Mint.
Mint. I don't think Mint has the budget to pick her up because she said it's money too.
Okay.
She said they gave her seems like a decent amount of money.
Okay.
In that
I'm just thinking
conversation.
because Mint's, also molded by MVP in Axiom, so
Could be, maybe.
I don't know.
I don't know. I just don't think Mint has that type of following.
Okay.
I mean, maybe. Or I still kind of stand behind that OTB thing. I mean,
another round.
another round. Like that, she's going to be their flagship, first player.
But it sounded like she had, because they asked her, and it sounded like she had a manufacturer that she was signing with.
That's what it sounds like to
Yeah.
me too, because she's talking about specific discs.
Yep. Yeah.
But who knows? Maybe the fact that she can just go pick up anything, and there's such a large choice and all that stuff is because of that. The only other person I can think of would be Innova.
Yeah.
Oh, did it go? Oh no, yeah, it would be Innova. So if that's the case, that would be cool, but I'd be a little disappointed.
Yeah. I think so. Yeah, same.
Yeah. So, all right, should we get to our random question?
Yes.
All right, random question. It's buy or sell. Simply buy or sell pizza chains.
Yes.
All right. So we have them listed up there. There are 9.
Okay.
And we have to choose. So we'll just go one by one, and it'll be buy or sell because we're getting on to an hour and 15 minutes right now.
Oh, well.
So we'll go through this pretty quickly.
I've listened to longer episodes.
Yeah. We've had longer episodes.
Yes.
I mean, we could be Smashbox. We could just keep going
Oh,
for a
yeah.
while. Well,
Plus
what
the
was the
after
other
show,
one?
plus-
The Nick and Matt show's been carrying pretty long too.
Oh, yeah.
like 2 hours or so at
Yeah,
a time.
there's a couple.
Yeah. All right. So Sbarro's.
I'm a buy.
I'm a buy on that as well. There's nothing better than walking up to Sbarro's and asking for a slice of their pepperoni pizza and then being like, can you pop it in that oven and crisp it up a bit? Well done. And they're like, sure. And it comes out with like crispy edges. Oh, so good.
Yeah.
And it burns your mouth like, oh. Anyways.
Yep.
So there you go. Pizza Hut, buy or sell?
I'm a buy on Pizza Hut.
Oh, sell.
Really?
Sell.
Okay.
Absolutely. Too greasy for me. So I don't like their crust.
But they have so many different crusts you can choose.
They do, but we're just talking like signature flagship Pizza Hut crust.
Sure.
It's pretty darn greasy. Domino's.
Sell.
Sell.
Yeah.
I'll sell as well on Domino's.
I'm not a big Domino's fan.
I like Domino's. I just have this this long history with Domino's that I can do without them for the rest of my life because they used to have 5 for $5 deals.
Oh, yeah.
Where you could buy 5 pizzas for $5 a piece. For $25, you could have 5 pizzas.
Yeah.
I basically lived off them in college. Like, nuts. And then they did this 5 for $6, where it was 2 toppings.
Oh, jeez.
And then you could get 5 of them for $6 a piece. So, yeah, I'll buy them.
Right.
Like $30? Absolutely.
Yeah.
With 2 toppings on each of them. And I would always do double pepperoni or pepperoni and black olive.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And I had pizzas for days.
I was always about avoid the Noid. I would just avoid Domino's.
Oh, really? I love Domino's. I honestly do. But like I said, I just think I'm overdosed on them. Like I had so much when I was that. Like they don't excite me when I go places and I see Domino's. I'm like, eh. But there's so many other chains out there now that I like. I've had Domino's before.
Yeah.
So, Little Caesars.
I'm a buy.
You're a buy on Little Caesars? If there was like an IR, I'd put Little Caesars on the IR. Okay. But I'll put sell.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Sell. I mean, it's nice. It's quick. It's convenient. It's
Yeah.
super easy to just pick it up. It's cheap pizza, but it's not bad pizza.
No.
You know?
I like it. Kids like it. We used to get it a lot like when we would go down to Florida because like it wasn't like really up this way or like Little Caesars. So like same thing like as Domino's, you could get pizzas like pretty cheap. Like they would come in like you could get like 2 medium pizzas for like maybe $10.
That big square thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was like $9.99.
Yeah.
Or $8.99. Yeah.
Something like that. And so like we would get that and like feed the family.
Yep.
And now they have the one in the gas station where it's like you can just go and it's like ready and you pull it out.
Yeah.
And
That's the grab and go Caesars.
Grab and go. Yeah.
Yeah, that's like
Super
not
convenient.
the full one. So like all the cool stuff Little Caesars is coming out with right now.
Yeah.
They don't
But they
have
have
it,
wings and they have breadsticks.
They do.
And like little mini pizzas and stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's good. Like I won't lie, we go there, but yeah, I would sell. Like if I was in a city that had all these chains, Little Caesars wouldn't even be a conversation.
Yeah.
For me. So Papa John's.
I think I'm a sell on Papa John's.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh,
I had it a lot when I was like college around that time. And there's something about the sauce that was like, it was good, but I didn't like it as much as
was
some other
this
things.
pre-recipe change or post-recipe change?
Oh, I think it was pre.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember. Like after Papa left or pre-Papa leaving.
Yeah, that's about the timeline. It wasn't very far in between that, but
No.
I think he left sometime in the late 2000s, like 2010-ish.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I
Like,
think that
there's-
was when the recipe change
Yeah,
was.
I think that could be. And
Yeah.
like Shaq is now heavily involved with it.
Well, he was before, but he started taking more
Yeah,
ownership of
right.
it. Yeah. I'm a buy on Papa John's. I love Papa John's. And there's the pepperoncinis and the garlic sauce it comes with.
Mm-hmm.
As much as that garlic sauce is garbage, as soon as you dunk that crust in it, awesome. Like I would never just take my finger and lick it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm a Papa John's fan. I like it. I'm not a Papa John fan, but I'm a Papa John's chain fan.
Yeah, got it.
All right. Old Chicago?
I don't have it often. I like it, so I'm going to buy.
Okay, I'll sell. There's just something off about it for me.
Okay.
And maybe it's like the amount of herbs that's in the sauce or something. There's just something a little off about it. Nothing like I'm not like, yeah, I won't eat it, but because I'll eat it for sure. But yeah, it'll be a sell for me. Papa Murphy's.
Okay. I'm a buy on Papa Murphy's because I think it's nice to be able to, like, they make it for you, obviously. It's a little weird because it's almost like buying frozen pizza. It's not
Right.
frozen. It's
Right.
freshly made in front of you and everything. You do have to cook it on the tray,
Yep.
like the cardboard tray. But I'm a fan.
Right.
And you can cook it to the way you like it. Like if you're not at risk of like burning it, like somebody burning your pizza or like having it be undercooked. It's like
Undercooked or overcooked. Like,
Yeah.
You take it out when you take it out. So the earnest is on you for cooking it. I am a sell on Papa Murphy's. And the reason why is because I can never get the temperature or the cook right. It always sticks to that stupid cardboard pan.
Yeah.
So I don't know what it is. And I've even tried it where like we get it home and I take it off that cardboard and put it on a pizza stone.
Oh, sure.
And it still doesn't. Like for some reason, I just can't get it to cook properly.
Okay.
I never have any issues with any other pizza, but for that one, it's never cooked right for me. So, and I'm
see
the
it.
one cooking it.
Yeah.
I'm a pretty good cook too. So, all right, toppers.
I'm going to sell Toppers. They have good breadsticks, though.
They do. I have only ever had their pizza once.
I've had it. Okay, so I used to go down to UW Whitewater every once in a while, like hang out with my friend Joe, and like I was dating a girl that was in Whitewater for a while. So we get Toppers like when I'd go down there.
Yeah.
And like it's good, but for me it's like same thing, like on level with like Domino's, which I'm not really a fan of. So.
Because it's kind of like a Subway of pizza, right? Like you kind of pick your own toppings and they make it like right there. It's okay.
Yeah. I mean, we've only ever like I never went like I know they have like a store, but like we've only ever like called up and like we'll be there in 15 minutes or whatever.
Oh, okay.
Like, so
okay. Yeah, I know they have them all over the Milwaukee area.
there's a couple in Green Bay, I think.
Are there?
It's
Okay.
been popping up in Green Bay a little bit. Yeah.
I mean, I'm assuming they're good. I just don't have enough experience. So at this point, I'll just have to say sell. Godfathers.
Godfather. It's been a long time since I've had Godfathers. It was pretty good when I remember having it, but I think I'm going to be a sell.
I'll say sell as well. Like I said, it's just not my favorite style of pizza.
Yeah.
Like yeah.
Should we ask local?
Local with wild tomato?
Yeah.
Sell.
I'm a sell.
Sell hard.
I will eat it, but it is not my favorite.
No. So it's changed too.
Yeah.
You know, I think for the mass production, maybe it's changed. But it used to be so. Yeah, Britt probably listens to this, but it doesn't matter. I mean, I'm not saying anything that's out. So when it first started, like you get burnt crust all the time, and not just like dark bubbles and like a little char, like burnt.
So
crust.
this is a wood-fired pizza place.
Yeah, and then it got really good for about 4 years, 5 years. It was phenomenal. Like I loved it. And then something happened, like there was a sauce change or something like that, and then a dough change, and then they started using electric ovens.
There was definitely a dough change.
Definitely a dough change.
And once they opened the Sister Bay location, I shouldn't even say that. Once they expanded to the Go Wild, like had the building in the back in Fish Creek, things started to change a little bit.
Yes, yeah. And I think it was just production. They had to keep up with it, so they have to do certain things. And I understand it. And it's not bad pizza.
No.
It's just not
what it was originally.
What it was or what is being imagined to be.
Yeah.
You know, like this amazing, but it is the only option in town, like almost literally. Like there are a few other places.
Yeah. Like when JoJo's was around, they had like thin crust.
Yeah. There's like cracker crust.
Yeah. Like I like them a lot. Like I would buy them if they were still around. I'm trying to think of who else has. There's like
the bowl has them, and then the Pizza Czar.
Oh, right. Pizza. I've never actually had Pizza Czar.
Is actually pretty good. Like it's not too bad. There's a lot of toppings and a lot of cheese on them.
Okay.
But it's not too bad. Like it's pub.
Yeah.
Like pizza.
I think Husby's has pizza as well.
Never had Husby's pizza.
Trying to think.
Oh yeah, I have. I used to order it all the time. Really heavy on the cornmeal, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
I haven't had it in a little while.
Bayside has pizza.
Yeah.
And it's not bad, but straight up just greasy bar pizza.
Yep.
And then who was the one that had like the really nice designer pizzas? They were really good. It was it Behringer's or Chives that has them?
Oh, Chives does have, yeah.
And
Chives does.
They're pretty darn good. That pizza truck.
Pizza truck, yeah.
Yes. And they're pretty darn good. They're like, that might be my favorite pizza in the county. So now that we've trashed the county. But so the only other one
this way.
Yeah. The only other one I want to talk to, or I know you've never had it, Hungry Howie's. So it's a buy for me all day. And Godfather's was a sell, I think I said.
Yeah.
It's a buy for me all day. And the only reason why is because of the flavored crusts. Like there's like 15 flavors of crust that you can get. And it's not like stuffed crust. It's like just on the crust. It's a flavor. Phenomenal. There's a place in Port Washington that was called like Jimmy and Michelle's. I don't know if it's still there or not, but just like this little hole in the wall pizza joint, like straight Italian. And he did that where it was like a honey something, like honey sage or honey like crust, where he would out of the oven he would take and like paint this honey sage whatever it was on the so good. Yeah. So all right.
There's a place in Minnesota when Alyssa was going to UM called Pizza Luce. There's a couple locations around St. Paul, Minnesota, or Minneapolis, and they had really good pizza. Like she had heard about it. She's like, we should go try this place. And I was like, yeah. Like, so we would go there every once in a while. It was really good. So if you're in that area, you probably know about it. Yeah.
So, all right. Shop updates. We don't have pizza, but guess what we have?
Calvin discs?
Supreme Judges. So really nothing new coming into the shop. We are kind of holding off. We have a huge amount of stock. So we're kind of holding off on buying really anything but the like primo releases at the present moment. So new year, we'll probably start picking up obviously all the signature stuff that's going to start coming out, any of the new discs. But outside of that, it's going to be kind of a holding pattern for our discs aside from the Supreme Judges. So anything else left to say?
You know, I had something I was thinking of before, but I can't think of it now.
Okay.
Yep.
Was that worth bringing up?
Not really, but
just throwing it out there.
You asked me, so I was like, well, I had something, but if I don't voice it, it makes it sound like I didn't have anything.
Well, you didn't.
But I didn't. Yeah.
Was it about your OnlyFans?
No.
No. Oh.
It's, someone brought up the fact that like the first thing you guys put on OnlyFans should be Shane's video of him dancing in a skirt.
I'll try to find that. I'm gonna try to find that.
Okay.
I want to say it was like lip sync or skit night.
You said Snoop Dogg.
And it was Snoop, and it was 2004 or 5, maybe 3,
Okay.
like somewhere around in there. And I'm the bald football player. Like, I don't look much. Well, like my face and head look the same, but my body is different. Like I was structured like a football player, not like a fat old guy. So, yeah. So here we go. Philip Whitmore. You win. I said his name and our lights flickered.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Philip, are you here? Philip Whitmore, reach out. I did send you an email just to say, hey, listen to this episode. But you won the Poopy Pants Disc Golfer on OnlyFans is what it was. So hit us up or hit me up. So hit the door_disc_golf. Just message me or email me back. And I will get you a disc. And I believe it was from my personal collection.
I think that's what it was.
If you have a preference on manufacturer, send it. I probably got it, unless it's a new manufacturer like Clash. Well, I got some Clash. I got some. Yeah, if you have a preference in manufacturer, just send it out, and I'll see what I have, and I'll throw one your way. I'll surprise you. I'll send you a little mystery box, and hopefully we can get it to you before Christmas. And then, did we pick a Apple podcast?
No, because no one had written anything.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, if anybody wants to go on, I mean, I think that's really one of the only places you can write a review. I mean, everywhere pretty much allows you to like rate us and everything. But if you can write us a review, the next person that writes a review, I will send them something. Yeah.
Well, no, I already have. I got to send somebody out of my personal collection, and I have the disc I'm going to send.
Okay.
So
that was the last person. But if somebody else does something more, I will send them.
Oh, do we have a?
Well, because Caxbacks.
Oh, so was he the one?
He was the last. That was all the way in September, though.
Oh my goodness.
That was the last review we've had written.
Okay.
So
he still interacts on Instagram, so hopefully he still listens. Well, Caxbacks, hit me up. Give me your address. I think you've already given it to me once because I think you won one of our. I think you may have won 2 of our.
He won something before, for sure.
Okay. Yeah, well, hit us up and we will. I'll send you one of the personal collection. I got the disc picked out and everything, and that will also be a mystery. So hit us up, and I think you actually already reached out to me once about it. But yeah, hit us up.
And I keep forgetting. We owe Justin Choi a gift card for fantasy disc golf.
Yeah, for fantasy.
Justin, I'll reach out to you on Instagram. Yep. That'll be the easiest way.
All I need is the email address, and I can send it to him. It's a virtual card. So
cool.
All right. So with all that said, keep a lookout for JP's OnlyFans and keep it subpar.
I don't think it's going to be just mine.
I'm not doing anything with you.
Give me that video.
Oh, man. There is some incriminating stuff out there on me, like family-friendly incriminating stuff.
Okay.
I'm sure there's probably other types of incriminating stuff. But
rap sheet you got going on?
I don't know. I did get arrested once for stealing when I was really, really young. I didn't really get arrested, but
I was going to say, I think when we're all young, we always see that one object that maybe is in the grocery store or something. You just kind of put it under your shirt, when you're little. Yeah. And then mom and dad are you shouldn't have done that. Yeah. So we have to go back in the store and you have to tell them yeah. I had that happen to me too.
Mine was a little more than that though.
Lifting PlayStations or something?
Well, the entrepreneurial spirit that I have.
Okay.
I was...
You're looking at products and you're I need to see what this is in order to...
So I was making chain wallets.
Oh, okay.
Because this was back in that day, the goth day with the B-52 bombers, the big pant legs, those Junkos.
Yeah.
Things like that.
We did have those, yeah.
And then the chains, and the bigger and longer the chain was, the cooler it was.
Oh, yeah.
So I found that this is horrible. And I never actually was able to sell any, but I was trying to. Because I bought one of the chains for myself, and I had a wallet, and I did it. But what they are, at the back in the day, they were women's belts. and they were like a really nice silver. They were like $50 or something like that. I had 6 of them in my pocket when they caught me. I never made it out of the store. Dude drugged me to the back, and then the police officer actually picked me up, took me to juvie, like did all that stuff, like fingerprinted me and all that stuff. Zero intention. It was between her and my dad, like scare the crap out of him.
Yeah.
Like put me in a holding cell. Like it was,
Scared you straight.
It did.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, but I did have to go see a judge afterwards for like community service and all that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
But I had straight A's and perfect attendance in school. So he was like, don't do it again.
Yeah.
So
Lucky.
yeah. So there you go. A little juvenile delinquent I was. There's a lot more stories like that, but not of me going to jail, but it's just stupid stuff I used to do. With all that being said, keep it subpar, grow the community, and don't steal things, boys and girls. Peace out.